Hi guys. So, yesterday I think I did the fifth character. I did Sky, Rose. We have Sky, Rose, Void, Crow, and Shadows. Yes. And today I want to make a character. This is a character that is inspired by this one type of a mentality that I had this morning. Actually, I'd had it in the it was the most heavy in the evening of tomorrow. In the evening of yesterday, I mean. Now, yesterday in the evening, I was thinking a lot because today was the day where I take the result papers. And I could act sick so that I didn't have to go, so that my father would take my grades, the grade paper. But instead I want to go there so that I can see my classmates for the last time. None of my classmates are my friends. In that classroom, I have people that I've been classmates with for more than 5 years. And then the people that are the most stranger to me are the ones that are I have known all of these people for at least 2 years. The last ever student that came to joined our classroom joined 2 years ago. But I just throughout my whole teenagerhood, I was one of the kids that never got to live the teenagerhood, that life of teenager. Like, you have your boyfriend or your girlfriend in the classroom. Your classmates are making fun of you. You guys are doing jokes. You guys are going out eating together. Never got to live that life, but everybody in my classroom lived that life, and I watched each of them live that life. Am I jealous? No, I'm not. I realize that I'm different, and I love that I'm different because me having such a different personality means that I can take paths that nobody else take roads, take life decisions that nobody else took, and that will show humanity some other ways of living, some diversity. But yeah, yes, I mean, today, 15th of June 2026, is going to be a date that I'm going to remember personally. It's going to be in my mind, it's going to be like the history of me. Like, just one of the pages of the history of me, and the date of 15th of June 2026 is such an important day in there because it's the last ever time I saw those people. I looked at each of their faces and I was trying to when I went to the school today, I was thinking, I was like, today is the last chance. I was like, instead of me thinking about myself as the lower being, not the lower being, how do I put this? As the less worthy child, and then just hanging on to other people, I should think of myself as a different person, as a unique person. I should think of myself as more valuable. I know that is also not true, but that is the thing that I can do so that I'm the most happy, you know? Everybody cares about their happiness. I gotta care about my happiness too. So I was like, today I'm going to think of myself as a child that is more valued. Because today, at least, let's let today be my day. Because every single day has been the other kids' day. One day, one of them got to shine. The other day, the other one got to shine. So I thought today has to be mine. Today I'm going to think of myself as more valuable than other kids. And if they choose not to talk to me today, it's going to be them losing a huge chance, because today is the last chance that I gave to my classmates. I told myself, if any of them do not talk to me, do not act kind to me today, they lost their chance. I'm going to completely forget about them. Years later, like, I feel there's a potential in me. So I know that when I grow up, I'm going to be in a better place. So when I'm in that better place, years later, if any of them try to come and try to be friends with me, I'm going to be like, I'm going to try not to engage, because I am not going to give them a second chance, So that's why 15th of June 2026 is an important date for the history of me, the history of Windy Nights. And because today was like this, and because I was thinking about today for a couple of days, yesterday I was thinking about today a lot. I was like, how is it going to go? Is anybody going to talk to me? Which 3 people talked to me? 3 people acted kind to me. Yes, acting kind was also very important. More important than talking. 3 people acted kind to me, did something that made me sure that they were kind to me, and I was like, okay, these 3 people, I'm going to remember them. But other than them, nobody. I'm remembering nobody. Yeah, so yesterday I had this mentality. I was like, the reason why I was a nothing, like, I had no personality, right? The reason why I didn't have any personality was because I was just like this one character that I'm about to build today. Today's character, the character that is going to attend a school just for you, is a character that goes in the name of Sand. Sand is an entity, you can say. It doesn't have any parents, It just got created. It's just a soul that possessed like millions or even billions of particles of sand, and turned that sand into a shape of a body so that it could be alive. Well, sand in the beginning, because it was just getting used to being a human, every time something poked at it, like let's say that sand, like every time something alive poked at it, like for example, let's say that an animal looked at it, and the animal just looked at it and saw it as a threat, sand would basically, try and be like, oh, it's seeing me as a threat, I should try and lower myself, try and shapeshift so that it is satisfied. So every time something poked at it, when I say poked at it, what I imagine is basically these sand is standing in a like a beach. There's like a cave, but he's half outside, half inside. And there's sunshine, and there is also the sea. the beach basically. And from the cave there are rocks, and the rocks seem to be alive because the rocks are like sharp rocks that grow into him basically. And every time those rocks grow into him, he basically just lets the thing that is poking him get into him. Every time something pokes into it, something stabs it, it becomes soft and moves in the way that the thing that is stabbing it wants it to move. Until one day so many stones, sharp stones, formed and then grew and grew and grew that sand became nothing. All of the particles of the sand just were like everywhere. So basically it just became nothing again. It became something unalive again. And basically, when there's no body, sand is not a soul, it's just nothing. Just quiet. His personality is gone, nothing is there. Nothing is left of him. So, for a few days, they're just quiet. Until one day, instead of reacting to the pokings in a gentle way, by just listening to the thing that is stabbing it, and then every time something stabs it, it just listens to it and shape shifts and stuff. It decides every time something pokes at it, it will be more rock-like, more hard, you know? So it's like literally every time something stabs into it, he liquefies. But this time he goes, no. Every time something pokes at me, I'm going to solidify. Just like that, every time the rocks grew into one of the sand particles that formed him before, when he was alive, he solidified. Until one day he became full again. And now we have a character that always wants something to poke at him, always wants trouble, and always wants something to bother him just to solidify. Because without those things, he doesn't feel like he can solidify. Now, the idea behind this character is that, you know, when you're in your comfort zone, you are gentle. But when you start to try and get out of the comfort zone, if you are just a gentle little person, people are going to try to crush you. And some people, unfortunately, when they see other people trying to crush them, for some reason they empathize with the person that is trying to crush them, and then they just be like, okay, this person is trying to crush me, let me just let them crush me. Let me just let myself be nothing so that they're satisfied. But this character at some point was like, no, every time they judge me, I'm going to go even further. Whatever I was doing that they're judging, I'm going to do it even more every time they judge me, is what this character is doing. And yeah, so it's actually a good thing. It's the character basically rising from a tragic thing that happened to them because of the way that they were. But in another way, it is starting to cause problems because now it basically needs something to poke at it, needs someone to judge or even hurt him, just for him to keep staying solid. Because he's scared of going back to the gentle himself, where he would let things shape him. But I mean, you know, and these kind of people usually, they'll probably also struggle with love, Because in love, you do need to be gentle and then shift sometimes to make sure that the person that you're with is also happy. But if he tries to do that, he's scared that he will go back to the gentle himself and get crushed by everything around him again. This issue might go to self-harming, or he might just be the most problematic person in the whole classroom. Yes. I also realize that all of these characters, I am freestyling the characters. Most of the characters, when I hit to record, I have no idea what kind of a character I'm going to come up with. But I'm starting to realize that all of the characters that I made so far are basically just parts of me, or phases that I have been through, and maybe you have also been through, I don't know. Void was those times where I was in my room and the door was closed and there was just nothing to do. And I looked around me and I was like, my life has nothing in it. You know, nothing is happening. That was the character of Void. Rose was me when everything around me was going so wrong that I started basically, what do you guys call it? Detaching. I started detaching and I started living inside my head, which is again not okay. Sky was a character. Sky is just very emotional and just empathizes with everyone, and that kind of causes problems. I already said that that was my issue when I was in high school, and that's why I never had the high school life, the happinesses that everybody deserves, including me. I never got to have that. Then we have the character, we have Crow. Crow is just, I feel like, all the working people and all the people who are going to school. Everybody has been through the life that Crow has been. Just being scared that we're gonna get left behind, so we have to just get up and live our whole life in a schedule where we have to work hard, whether it's in school or in work, and then just come to home and sleep, and there's this cycle that is happening. It's not a happy thing, but we're just scared that we're gonna be left behind, and if we do get left behind, we're gonna probably be jobless and stuff like that, or we're just gonna be upsetting our parents and stuff. And because we're scared of that, we just keep working, keep living this painful life, is what Crow is explaining. And Shadows is just that stupid part of me that when I realized that everybody around me wanted me to be invisible, I decided to live in the reality that I should be invisible. Because I am too empathized. I'm too emotional that I can feel other people's emotions a lot. I can understand other people's emotions. And nobody understands mine. And that's the issue. And I am unique in so many ways that some people try to understand, but their emotional intelligence and like their personality was just not strong enough that they couldn't handle, and they either got weirded out or they were just like, oh, okay, I'm going to leave now. That's why 15th of June 2026. I'm just trying to make like a special day for me, you know, because I think I deserve it too. Today was my day. That's what I say. Today was my day. Also, a very old friend of mine called me up, and I was talking about the fact that I was making today special for me and stuff. And then she was like, you know what you're doing wrong? The thing that you're doing wrong is that you're taking teenagers way too seriously. You know? Your classmates are not people that you should be taking seriously, but you're overthinking about them, and you're making stories in your head about them. Yeah, I mean, but when things don't happen in your life, you just gotta live in your head, you know? Why did things don't happen in my life? Because I didn't have any friends, and so I had to either stand in the balcony or sit down in the classroom while nobody else was in the classroom, and students would walk by the classroom and look at me just sitting in the classroom. All the seats are empty but mine. And then I got labeled as teacher pet because I realized that teachers just appreciating my work was one of the only things in the school that I was appreciated in. And I mean, we all, have to spend a certain amount of time in the school. So I was like, since I'm stuck in the school and the only thing that is bringing me some appreciation, getting me appreciated, is studying, then I'll study. And then I got labeled as teacher's pet. But I wasn't teacher's pet. I was a kid who got left out, and because she was left out, she decided to, she was like, I'll use my time like this. Do I sound like I'm crying? I'm just out of breath because I'm thinking, probably. Also, I also don't want to be a coward that doesn't mention some parts of her life, and then only mentions one part of her life just so that that's like a great success story, you know? I want to mention all of the parts of my life simply because they are the reality of my life. I hate people who glorify their life. I hate people who make up like a success story out of their life. People who are like artists can do that because they're like, they're trying to create a fan base, and fan bases love stories. But if this YouTube channel and stuff and all of the stuff that I'm working on right now gets me a fan base, I want the fan base to just learn about everything in my life and become a fan base that way. I feel like that'll be not very glorifying, but it'll be like very authentic. You guys will know the real me.